Hello! Finally guys, the day has come where I am going to show you the technique for avoiding long floats in stranded color work. I know I've been promising this for probably 2 years, 3 years, I don't know, and I am developing a hat pattern that is going to have this very same technique. It's the Isbire hat and it's just a hat version of the Isbire sweater. So it's going to have the same chart and therefore the same technique. So I am actually going to show you this now. So yeah, buckle up, I guess. One thing I'm going to advise you up front is to just put some stitch markers in, like every 40th or 44th stitch, depending on which chart you are following. This is just going to be an aspect of the hat pattern, so do be sure that you are looking at your chart and not the one that I am following, because it will depend. So ready to go. I'm just going to knit one stitch so that we are at the end of the round and slip that starter stitch and off we go. So first thing I'm going to do is just knit 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And now we're gonna make one purlwise. I'm gonna be totally honest with you, it does not matter which one you do. If you do a right leaning one or a left leaning one, or if you do one like left leaning one place in the pattern and one in the other, you don't have to be consistent. It really doesn't matter. However, what does matter is that you keep your yarn in the front when you do. Even though you're casting on with this darker grey, keep the other yarn in the front, right? And we're going to pick up a strand in between here and do this. Clearly this is the one I'm going to be doing today, and purl through the front. There we go, finally in here. Right, so remember you had your yarn in the front, so now you bring all of that to the back again. And I'm going to do this a lot of times on this round. And so now I knitted another 5 stitches. We're going to keep our yarns in the front again and pick up the bar in between. It is probably generally easier to do the one where you're purling through the front, so I'm going to keep doing that and purl that, and again bring the yarn to the back. So that is just the main thing for you to remember here, is to keep the yarns in the front. I'm going to do it one more time. Okay, both yarns in the front. Pick up, there it is, and whilst keeping both in the front, purl through this one here. It does not matter if you knit English style or whatever style you knit, as long as you keep both yarns in the front when you do this and bring them back again when you're done. I am now going to do this until I'm all the way done with as many stitches between these grey stitches as my particular chart says, and then I will see you on the other side when I'm done. Now that I've knitted another 5 stitches, or however many stitches there are in your chart version, I am actually going to knit one in grey before I make one in grey, so I thought I would demonstrate that as well. Basically just knit one. So now we're going to bring both yarns to the front again. Right, they're both in the front of the needle, and pick up a bar between. Gosh, this one's tight. And keep them in the front. They can often sneak in the back again, but don't let them. And just going to pick up this one and purl through with the grey. Oops, that one slipped up. Like that. And then you can bring them all to the back again. So that's basically how that looks. You've got one knitted here, and you've got one purled here. This one didn't have any yarn in the front. That's very important because this is a knit stitch. But for the purl stitch, you did keep the white in front of it. This is very important because that is what is going to hide these grey stitches that were added here, but not the ones that are part of the colour work as we go around further. So I am now going to keep making these little grey purl stitches and doing the little bit of colour work that's on this first round, and I will see you on the other side when I'm done with this round. So now that we are at round 2, you're actually going to be making some of these purlwise stitches here as well. I just left these to round 2 because you already had some purl stitches to work from at this particular part in the pattern. So now that we made that, as you can see, I'm now moved my contrast color to the left again, which I probably should have done all along because of yarn dominance, but I'm doing it now, okay? So we're going to knit up to this one here that we made earlier. And what do we do with this stitch? Are we gonna knit it? Are we gonna purl it? We're gonna take all of our yarns to the front again, both of them on the front, and purl with the grey, with the white in front, or whatever colours that you're using. Right, see that? I got the white in the front. I'm gonna bring it to the back again and keep knitting. We're gonna keep knitting until we get to the next one. Here it is. You can see how it is tucked behind the work here, because you kept that yarn in the front. This is going to be a lot more apparent the further rounds that we work. But for now, yarn in the front and purl with the contrast, and put the yarn in the back. See here are both of these whites, the one on the row below, this one, are concealing this stitch. It's not as obvious now, it's going to be obvious when you've done more work. So that is basically all that we are doing. Now we're at where we were knitting a grey stitch. You can see that one here. We're going to knit the one before it grey according to the chart, so I'll be doing that. And this one's now being made white. And now this one, we're still keeping our yarns in the front, and we are going to purl with the grey, with the yarns in the front, and bring them back. And now the next one is grey, so that's pretty easy. We've got the yarns in the back, we're going to knit, and we're going to knit with the grey, like that. So again, you can see we've got the grey purl stitch between these, and it's still concealed through all the yarns that are floating in the front of it. And that's all we're going to be doing on this particular round. So again, I'll see you when I've done more. Finally, I am at a place in the pattern where I can show you how we decrease these extra purl stitches, because we don't want to carry them all the way through knitting the chart. That is just completely redundant. We're just going to make them when we need them for saving the float length, and we're going to remove them when we don't need them. So I'm about ready to do that now. So this is my start marker. I'm at the beginning of the chart, and I have just knit one in dark grey, knit one in light grey, and then knit the next one in dark grey. And here we have our little purl stitch. Now this time we're not going to bring any yarns to the front or anything like that. We're simply going to knit it together with the next stitch. Please only do a knit two together and do not do an SSK here. So just knit together in the light grey, or whatever, you know, colour you're doing in the chart, like that. And now it's gone. It's completely gone. You can't see the purl stitch. There was a purl stitch here between these two stitches, and you can't see it. It is no longer there. So let me just get a couple of stitches in here, and then we'll turn the back of the work and we'll see what we've got here. Look at that. There's the purl stitch. It's still there, not at the front of the work. We just decreased it. But here it is holding this very long float. It's holding it there and there and there. And it makes the hat still very elastic to wear over your head. It prevents any sort of weird puckering. It helps you with float management a lot easier. All in all, it's just a really brilliant method for helping you with floats, and it is technically double knitting. You're just doing a couple of double knit stitches throughout, not full on double knitting. And from the front, you can't see a thing. And that is basically this technique. I really hope you all enjoy it, and yeah, good luck and bye.